Hits and Crits. This video is brought to you by Asmodee.
What's up, Hits and Crits family? Welcome to probably the most exciting announcement I have done, at least in the last 1.5, 2 years that Hits and Crits exist. And really, this is a very, very important message. I was so eager to put that out, right? Because we have seen so many messages on several Discords, on the Hits and Crits Discord, people reaching out to us asking what's happening, what did you connect with stats and we couldn't share it. So sorry for not sharing the info sooner, but today is the day that we can give you this very special announcement, which we're really proud of. So as many as you know, stats is a vital part of our ecosystem. Not only because we can run tournaments with it, but also we use it on a day-to-day basis to build lists and share it across the community, and compare lists and check out the lists from cool tournaments, from big tournaments, see what the winners from big tournaments play and stuff. So it's just a vital piece for us to grow and connect across borders, across globally even. So, but also, early this year, Stats was at risk of shutting down. And this was exactly the time when we decided we have to step up.
Yeah, and that's why we're here today, to tell you that Stats is not going away, right? And like, what a relief, really, what a relief. And
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I can speak for myself. And I might be special in this regard, but for me, Stats feels like home, right? It's so deeply connected to what A Song of Ice and Fire is and has become over the years. And I know so many people who spend hours, days, and probably month on the site. And
I guess so.
yeah, I know for sure. And we've worked hard, really, behind the scenes to prevent the shutdown for now, and to ensure that all and each and every site of the site's functionalities remain intact, right? And from the builder over the tournament management and all the features we came to love over the years. And we really feel this is so important for the community, and we are so happy that we finally can share it with you. And with that out of the way, the big message, we obviously would like to explain the reasoning behind this, the story behind this, and to make clear what we need to keep up Stats, to keep it up and running, not only for a couple of months, which would be nice too, but we want to have it 2025 and well beyond, that is long term.
Exactly. And so you said it, the reasoning behind it. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because, as I said, it's a vital piece of the community, and the loss of Stats would have been a massive gap in our community. And especially not only for the competitive players, not for TOs only, because it's widely used across each and every level of this game. Even a lot of beginners that pick up the game quickly jump onto Stats because it's so convenient to build the list and share it again, get feedback, build their first list. So across the whole community, it would have been a huge void which no one could fill. So unity and growth of our awesome community were at stake, really. So we just knew we had to step up in this regard.
Yeah, and we couldn't imagine the game without Stats. And it's a big, also, as you said, for beginners, when they learn that there is something like Stats, it's they're really happy to have such a resource, and it's a big selling point, right, for community growth and getting new players into the game. And that's why our goal for now is to keep Stats alive for you. But of course, if this is achieved, we also want to improve Stats, and we want to make it a sustainable resource long term, that is at the same time accessible for everyone with passion for this game.
Exactly. So how will this work, right? And you said it, we worked really hard behind the scenes to get this done. And now we want to explain it in more detail what really happened. So I guess most of you have seen the interview we had with Carlo about the shutdown, about his feelings about the platform in its current state and the community it is within. So we reached out quickly to Carlo, and we have put together a solid structure now, which makes it possible to keep stats running, not only for the moment, even long term, but only if this community backs it up. And we really have to rally the banners here. And so here's the plan. Carlo, as the inventor of stats, continues to maintain the backend, which includes the whole ELO system, the database, the whole the whole backbone of the site, in return for a licensing fee. And now is a very important time in this video where we can finally share. We have a long time song player and Hits and Crits community member who made all of this possible. And a big thank you goes out already to Rossi for making this possible. So Rossi, our community member, reached out to us, to Carlo, and he will take ownership and maintenance of the front end. So everything we see. So everything when you go on stats, everything what you see that goes from all the features to the cards to the list builder, that it's up to date and all that kind of stuff. And he also, and that's why I'm so thankful, he provides initial funding, which basically acts as a kickstart or like a rescue funding, which makes it possible to keep stats alive. But again, it's in all of our hands and in your hands to keep stats alive, not only for this period of time, but also long term.
Yeah. And this is like, yeah, right, for it's a kickstarting initial funding for a certain time, and we want to maintain it for the future, and not only the small foreseeable future, but long-term future. And at this point, like, really big thanks to these two awesome individuals for all the hours and very long nights, right?
Oh, yeah.
That we shared working out the solution, which includes a lot of details and things to cover, as you can imagine, together. So big shout out to both of them.
Exactly. So so now we covered Carlo for the back end. We covered Rossi for the front end. So what is the role of Hits and Crits in all of this? So Hits and Crits' role in this is actually twofold. So on the one hand, we will encourage the community to provide a stable financial foundation, as we said. So there won't be stats long term if we can't get a stable funding together. So it will drop at some point if we can't do it together. So we will incentivize and encourage the community to do so. The second part, on the other hand, we will also act as like the let's say like the face of stats, at least like in the community work, so to say. So we will support the community in making the best possible use of stats. So that basically means, when I just give you two examples, it will be that there is a dedicated channel moderated by moderators to help you get onboarded onto stats, that help you with feature requests, that hear your voice, hear your opinions and wishes for stats also, and help you get the best out of it. This is how it will start, and there's more to come, which Daniel will tell you about what we are making community-wise to get the best out of stats. So with all these components, these elements, so to say, this new structure has the potential not only to keep it, but also growing and develop stats even further and its features. So as long as we can secure this financial support in the beginning, and we are set up in a sustainable way, then sky's the limit, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like hits and crits will provide like imagine a reliable day-to-day user support, right? Through a dedicated Discord channel, we will have moderators who will assist users, existing users, new users, onboard them. And we also want to create regular content, video content if possible, because we all remember the big times when we had like regular turning ground, and that was such a big part of it.
Yeah.
And we need promotion of the site to inspire and encourage users to support it in whatever way, but also financially, right? And we need to cover it and promote it with content. And we will try with all the partners, with all the awesome people out there to get this going and produce content covering the site and what it is all about.
Exactly. So what's next then? Now we have this solid structure in place, and next is the transition of the site officially starts on 1st of April, which all of you know, this is it all comes together in 2025. So we have the season 6 patch. We are in Manchester for the big invitational, biggest tournament ever played out. And the transition of stat starts. So the transitions to Rossi and ourselves in terms of supporting it. We will give our very best to get this site up to date and fully functional under the new conditions as soon as possible. But we feel confident that right after the invitational, we can get season 6 live. Right after the War Council app updates, as it always has been. So we feel confident that we will you as members of this community won't even recognize it or won't even see a change. But this is what officially starts behind the scenes. It will start around this area, and I can tell you that much. Rossi is already getting familiar with all the code and everything. So I think we're well set up to have a seamless transition from the old world to the new world.
But at the same time, like, please bear with us, and there is risk involved and there's learning involved and all that. And so, but we will give our best, right? We will give our very best to deliver. And beside that, we have to talk about the plan to secure like the necessary financial resources, because we are serious about this and we want to maintain it long term. And this involves different aspects, right? We have like two components for now in this. First, we will launch a Ko-fi campaign. This is a platform. You can find the links in the description. We will explain it a little bit more later, to raise 7,500 euro, right? And why this amount, you might ask? This might seem like an arbitrary sum. It is not, because when we do this, we want to not only say like, oh yeah, it would be nice if you can give us some money for it because we need it to run the site, but we want to give you a clear idea of what this money is able to accomplish. And from our calculations that we did all together, with 7,500 euros, we are able to secure stats well into 2027, right? And that's what this amount is able to achieve. So if you want to keep stats around, please check the link in the description below and see whether you can contribute. Like, and seriously, like every bit counts.
Yeah.
This is one-time donations, and this is to secure, we think long term, right?
Yeah.
So this an initial phase, which might be several years, but it's still an initial phase. And complementary to this, we need to set up like a funding. This is a solid long-term solution, and we kind of want to have this from a continuous revenue stream that we want to build up about Patreon or via Patreon. And here we not only hope to see all the existing stats Patreons, but we also want to attract new ones by the methods and things we mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah.
And I think maybe you can explain a little bit more how the Patreon thing works, Chris.
Yeah. So as you said, there are existing Patreon members for the current stat site, but you cannot like transition an existing Patreon. So Carlo will ask you and give you the new link, and all the existing patrons, they will find tiers similar to identical to what they contribute right now. They will find it on the new Patreon, and we set up within our Patreon, we set up dedicated stats Patreon tiers, which are tiers that basically just fuel stats in its core, as well as combined support tiers where you can say, I want to support both. I want to support both sides. So I want to support hits and crits. I want to support stats at the same time. So you will find two combined tiers, but you will also find dedicated stats tiers, which like directly fuels into stats. And there are still hits and crits dedicated tiers also. I think it's 6 altogether. So you can definitely check it out right now, and check the description for what benefits are in there, what you get, what you receive long term, short term, and everything. You can just check it out if you want. The link is in the description below. And also to explain that in more detail, we will have a video coming up explaining all tiers in more detail and how it functions out.
Yeah. And however, like, we're honest with you, we as a community, we need to act now. And if we don't secure a certain amount, we are thinking about like at least 50% until mid of the year of the initial founding sum that we mentioned, like we will have to explore additional funding methods, right? Because our overreaching goal is to keep stats around, and we will do everything that is needed to achieve this goal. And we laid out a method, but we have to really monitor how the progress is. And if we don't reach a certain amount, like 50% until mid-year, we will explore other methods.
Yeah, that would be needed really if it doesn't work out.
Because believe it or not, running stats needs resources.
Yeah, it needs resources, exactly. And but I still feel confident that we can do it all together. Yeah. So that's why we are so transparent of what we are trying to achieve, and we need you, right? In the end, it's you that will save it. It was us initially, or to have it around now, and it was also us to build the structure behind it. But now it's up to all of us, all of this community, to save it long term. And not only for a certain phase of time. But one more thing also, because there was a lot of discussion going on, even though we were under heavy time pressure to get this done, because like we have day-to-day jobs, we have families, right? So we were sitting in our offices or wherever, like nights and nights and hours to set this thing up. And to have every stakeholder satisfied with the setup and everything. So we still felt it is important for us to engage in constructive talks with Jerome, who is the project manager of Nexus. Right, there was a lot of discussion going on when Nexus like communicated that Nexus is in the books, not in the books, in the plans that And we wanted to reach out to him to align our efforts and next steps, what they are doing. And we explained how stats will, basically what we tell you right now. So if you haven't yet, check out the project. We linked it in the description also, if you want to get more familiar with Nexus plans. But we just felt it's a crucial information for you also, that we are engaging, that we are sharing everything, and that we are in constructive talks about community tools in general. But the most crucial question remains, and this is, how can you help?
The community has always been the backbone of this game, of our love for this game, and we have passion for the game itself. But what really makes it so special is the community together with this game. And we can't do this without you. We said this like 100 times during this video, but it is true, and we need you. And here's how you can contribute to keep stats around. We put together a little summary, and Chris will guide you through.
Exactly. So we mentioned it before. So there is this one-time donation. If you every little bit, anything you can give counts against this rescue campaign. We have a link in the description below that will link you to Ko-fi, and right on this link you see this campaign running with the named goal for the funding, and every little thing you can give, please do so to keep stats alive. The long-term thing on our little purple die here is join the Patreon for ongoing funding. So we do not only have this kickstart, this funding for the first phase, but also build something that we can rely on stats like further down the road, years to come. So this is why we need the Patreons, and this is why we already mentioned it, will fuel with content, support, and initiatives and everything. We will fuel as much as we can so the Patreons of Stats get the best stats and hits and crits experience at the same time. Again, there will be a video on the tiers. You can check it out right now. Go on the Hits and Crits Patreon, check out the tiers for stats, the combined ones, the hits and crits ones. Whatever you can give makes this thing a success. If you are like so engaged and you have like technical skills, you have you want to give us hands-on support, develop the site together with us, coder, web designer, everything you can think of. If you feel I'm talking to you right now, please reach out to us over Discord, come to us and engage with us so we can build this or have this awesome journey together with you. And lastly, each and every one of you, the more people that engage with us over Discord, in the stats channel, on stats, on our videos, whatever, spread the word on this initiative, spread the word that we need the whole song community to bring this thing alive. And and this is basically it. Everything helps, right? And it's really the time for you to shine and bring this across the finish line.
At this note, like if you have any questions, which might be, feel free to join our Discord and let us know. We are going to host there a Q&A session in early April to answer all of them. Okay, and we know this is now a big step. It's a big step forward, hopefully, but it's also for us a big step out in the open. And we finished the sprint for now, but there's a marathon to cover, and we have huge respect for this, but we are very optimistic that we can do it together with you, our beloved community.
Yeah, exactly. We will do it. I'm confident.
We will do it. Yeah, sure.
So it's but it still feels so surreal. Like let me say it again. Stats is staying. Like, to wrap it up for all of you, Stats is staying. The transition starts 1st of April, right after the Invitational, and with actually the introduction of Season 6. And I can tell you that much, I have quite some insight into the Season 6 patch. And mark my words, April will be full. And I mean full. You better take vacation, full of list building. Mark my words. So you mentioned in the beginning, like the hours, weeks, days, months that you stay on stats and build lists and stuff. Mark my words, it will happen in April.
Okay, so yeah, check out the new Patreon, check out the Ko-fi campaign. Links are all there. It's all up, set and up. Let's save stats together. And yeah, that's it for today. See you in stats and keep rolling those crits.
Roll those crits, guys.
Come for the hits and stay for the crits.